You know how life sometimes feels like you're navigating this winding road and bam, unexpected pothole. We've all been there, right?
Oh, definitely.
So today, we're going to take a deep dive into how one person didn't just navigate those, but actually use them. Use them as fuel, really, to build a more successful and, well, meaningful life.
That's right. You shared those excerpts from Only Dead Fish Go with the Flow. Quite the title.
It is.
And what really jumps out is the author's honesty, about facing some serious stuff, major health issues, real financial hardship,
Yeah.
but how those tough experiences became, well, a launch pad for growth. So our mission here in this deep dive is to pull out those key strategies, the practical stuff,
Okay.
things you, the listener, can use, like building a stronger mindset, finding your purpose, getting that supportive network, and finding that work-life harmony.
That ever-elusive balance.
Exactly. It's about learning how to proactively design your life, inspired by someone who walked through fire and came out stronger.
And his personal story is just so central, isn't it? It makes the advice feel real, grounded.
Totally.
I mean, we're talking unpredictable seizures starting in college right into adulthood. Serious stuff.
Yeah, genuinely frightening.
And then it all kind of culminates during the 2008 crash. He calls himself a millennial millionaire on paper.
Right, in that super volatile market.
Imagine the stress and then bankruptcy. It sounds incredibly tough.
It does. But the book shows how those very things became the spark, for huge positive changes.
So where do we even start unpacking all of that?
Let's kick things off with something that hits you right away. The sheer power of attitude.
Okay.
The book opens with this scene, right? He's on a yacht in Norway. Beautiful scenery.
Nice.
But the contrast he draws is fascinating. He immediately flashes back to his earlier self, an unfocused ski bum and waiter shopping at thrift stores.
Wow, quite the contrast.
Exactly. And that image just perfectly illustrates the kind of transformation that can happen when you fundamentally shift your approach. Your attitude. It's like the compass,
Yeah.
and the rudder for your ship. Guides you through choppy waters.
Okay, let's dig into that a bit more. Because the book's clear.
Yeah.
Attitude isn't fixed. It's not just who you are.
Right. It's a choice. A conscious choice you make constantly, responding to whatever life throws at you.
And that choice, it ripples outwards.
Precisely. It influences how you feel, the decisions you make, and ultimately what you actually do. It puts the power back in your court, really. It says you can learn to, manage your thoughts, question them, guide them.
Take control.
Exactly. And it's not just think positive. He gives practical ways to build that better attitude.
Like what?
Well, one thing that stood out was reflecting on past victories. Think about it, for you listening. Times you faced something hard and got through it. The book says consciously remembering those moments of resilience, it reinforces your belief in yourself, strengthens your resolve.
Okay. Drawing on past successes.
Yeah. And also using daily reminders, like inspiring quotes or affirmations you see all the time, keeps that positive mindset front and center, like building this mental scaffolding, sort of.
Little mental boosts. That makes sense. And then there's that concept he brings in from chemists. The invincible summer.
Oh, yeah, that's powerful. It's a metaphor, right? For that inner strength we all have, that reservoir that keeps us going even during the toughest winters of life.
Right, tapping into that core resilience, like an internal pilot light.
Exactly. It's always there, even when the winds are howling.
And he links that inner strength to creativity, which is interesting.
Yeah, very insightful. His point is, when you face challenges with that resilient core, you're actually better at seeing opportunities, stuff you'd miss if you felt defeated.
So it opens up possibility.
Right. It's that perspective shift.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box, finding new paths, even when things look grim. Obstacles can become springboards, really.
And keeping that forward momentum, that's key too, right? Focusing on goals.
Absolutely vital. The book stresses keeping that clear direction. But crucially, it's realistic about it.
How so?
It reminds us the journey isn't usually smooth. There will be bumpy roads, as he calls them. Setbacks are almost expected, part of the process.
Yeah, success isn't always a red carpet.
Not at all. Which leads right into something he calls a major roadblock, the blame game.
Ah, yes. Playing the victim.
Exactly. But his insight is deeper. It's not just dodging responsibility. Playing the blame game actually stifles you, kills motivation, hinders creativity, warps your view.
Creates a negative loop.
Totally. You feel justified in being negative, but you miss how that very negativity is holding you back, like driving with the handbrake on and blaming the car.
Right. It's refusing to take ownership, not
Yeah.
just of actions, but of your response, your attitude.
Because once you go down that road, blaming everything else, it's incredibly hard to actually make positive changes yourself.
Okay, so attitude is foundational. Now, what about actually making changes? The book talks about starting small.
Yeah, that's a really interesting concept. Small changes, big impact. It might seem counterintuitive, but huge shifts often start with tiny, manageable steps.
Building momentum.
Exactly. He shares his own story shifting from always being late to deliberately arriving early, and the positive ripple effect that one small change had was significant.
Just that one thing.
Yeah. It reminds us that even tiny course corrections can lead you somewhere completely different over time.
It's amazing how those little habits add up. He talks about the 5-minute late person.
He
Right.
does.
Yeah.
Someone who's just always a few minutes behind. And the advice is so simple. Just leave earlier. Factor it in.
And if you're early,
Use the time. Read, connect, prepare. It's about breaking those ingrained, seemingly small negative patterns that actually have a big cumulative effect.
and he reframes lateness too, doesn't he? It's not just an inconvenience.
Right. That's a key insight. He sees it as reflecting your focus and maybe more importantly, your consideration for others. He uses the word careless. Yeah. Being late consistently can signal you value your time more than theirs. It's about shifting focus outward, showing respect through punctuality. Time's a shared resource.
Being on time is respect.
Yeah.
Got it. And then he takes it further to serving others.
It's not just showing up on time. It's actively looking for ways to help, to contribute positively to people around you.
So that outward focus,
Yeah.
it feeds back into a positive attitude.
Exactly. Shifting from me to we. It seems to be a really powerful cultivator of that positive mindset we started with.
Okay, so attitude and action. He
Fun.
shares stories from his youth too, right? As an athlete.
Yeah, some really revealing anecdotes. He was a smaller kid playing middle and high school sports, basketball, soccer, baseball, track.
The underdog.
Totally. But his spirit, his hustle, it was relentless, despite not being the biggest guy. It shows that limitations are often, self-imposed.
He just didn't let size stop him?
Not at all. And he even talks about unexpected success in track, winning high hurdles even though he was shorter, and doing well in long jump.
So making the most of opportunities, even unexpected ones.
Exactly. Finding where your spirit could shine. And the big lesson he took away was crucial.
Which was?
That his identity, his self-worth, wasn't tied to just one thing. If one sport didn't work out as planned, he'd pivot, explore other areas where he could thrive.
Adaptability.
And personal responsibility.
Yeah.
That line, if I got knocked down 7 times, I got up 8, that really sums up the resilient core of the book.
Yeah, setbacks happen. Giving up is the choice.
That's the essence. Own your journey. Don't let setbacks define you. Keep believing you can bounce back stronger.
Okay, so that resilience is key. But how do you navigate the challenges practically? The book talks about questions.
Yes. Quality questions. This is super practical. Instead of getting stuck in negativity when things go wrong,
Which is easy to do.
very easy. He suggests actively engaging your mind. Ask questions that shift your perspective, like, what's the blessing hidden in this? Or how can this challenge actually serve me right now?
Become an investigator of your own situation.
Exactly. You're actively reframing it, looking for the silver linings, the lessons. It's the opposite of those draining questions like, why me?
Which just keep you stuck.
Helpless.
Right. This moves you from helplessness to agency. Where you put your focus profoundly impacts your experience. Empowering questions guide you toward solutions, toward growth.
Not just dwelling on the problem.
Precisely. And he also stresses looking beyond appearances, focusing on authenticity, inner drive. What he calls heart and desire are mighty.
Substance over surface. Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder, especially today with all the curated online stuff.
Mhm.
Look deeper, value character, integrity, that inner fire.
Speaking of inner fire, the magical why, what's that about?
It's about getting to your deepest motivations, asking that really big, sometimes tough question. What would I go all in on if I knew I absolutely could not fail?
Wow, that cuts through a lot of noise. Fear, self-doubt.
Exactly. It forces you to tap into your most profound desires. And the book explains that having that crystal clear why is like an anchor.
Holds you steady in rough seas. Perfectly put. It gives you the strength to push through tough times, keeps you focused on your dreams. It's your compass when things get foggy.
And he talks about different kinds of wealth too, right? Not just money.
Yeah, spiritual and monetary wealth. He acknowledges money provides options, for sure, but real fulfillment, that often comes from a balance, inner peace, purpose, connection.
So what do you value beyond money?
That's the question he encourages you to ask. Often, strong relationships, for example, contribute hugely to a rich, balanced life. But, and this is key, consistently applying a positive attitude is crucial. It's ongoing work.
Not a one-and-done fix.
Definitely not.
Right.
Which brings us to priorities and self-care. The book really hammers home nurturing friendships, making a daily effort to show you care. Relationships need investment.
Active nurturing.
Yeah. And regularly checking your life priorities. Are your daily actions aligned with who you want to be? Your desired life?
Like checking your alignment, faith, family, friends, career.
Exactly. Misalignment there leads to dissatisfaction. And crucially, he stresses making room for joy, for fun. Embrace challenges as growth opportunities, practice gratitude. It's holistic.
It really is, not just striving, but nurturing all parts of yourself. Visualization, resilience, the golden rule. He touches on those too.
And a big one, avoid the comparison trap. Stop constantly measuring yourself against others. Focus on your gratitude, your progress. Your only real competition is who you were yesterday.
That's a great takeaway. So how do you build that strong inner self? He mentions incantations.
Yeah, or I am statements like I am strong, I am capable, I am worthy. But it's not just reciting them passively.
How do you make them work?
You have to engage your whole physiology, posture, breath, energy, practice them consistently with real conviction, embody them, feel them.
Right. Truly feel them. And what about your environment? Your circle?
Critical, take an honest look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they lifting you up, challenging you, inspiring you?
And if not?
Might be time to seek out a new, more supportive tribe. People whose energy aligns with yours. Surround yourself with growth.
That makes sense. And he talks about modeling successful people.
Yes, modeling and replicating. Find people who already have the success, the well-being, the balance you want, and then study them. Adopt their fundamentals, their routines.
Yeah, reinvent the wheel.
Not at first. Have the humility to learn when you're starting out. Shed those limiting caveman instincts, as he calls them, that resist learning. Stand on the shoulders of giants.
And he mentioned something surprisingly old school.
Yeah.
Handwritten letters.
Yeah. In our digital world, that personal touch, it can really make you stand out. Build genuine connection. Small gesture, big impact.
Okay, good tip. Let's shift to time management and focus. The 80-20 rule comes up.
It does. The Pareto principle.
Yeah.
He learned early on he was spending too much time on less productive clients. The key is focusing on the top 20% of activities or clients that give you 80% of the results.
Vital versus trivial.
Exactly. Categorize your tasks, your relationships, maybe A, B, C priorities. Then put most of your energy into the A's. It's about working smarter, not just harder, more intentionally.
And his view on time versus money.
Very powerful. Time is way more valuable. You can often make more money, but you can never get back lost time.
So use it efficiently, wisely.
Absolutely. Maximize your return. And that includes investing time in learning from others, asking questions. He tells that story about his mom.
Get into the Sloans.
Yeah. Her persistence, asking questions, refusing to take no for an answer, shows the power of proactive inquiry.
Which leads right into asking for help. That seems to be a big theme.
Huge. He learned a lot watching his parents navigate their divorce and then his mom starting her business. Asking questions of yourself, of others, keeps you on the right path, especially when life throws curveballs.
Continuous check-ins.
And his mom's advice. Never be afraid to ask for help. Recognize your limits. Surround yourself with experts who know what you don't. It takes self-awareness and courage.
Okay. Now, something maybe more surface level, but he argues it matters. First impressions. Etiquette.
Right. Dressing appropriately for your audience, your clients. Those first moments do shape perceptions. It's the unspoken language of presentation.
He tackles that take me as I am idea.
He does, acknowledges it, but points out the reality. People do judge based on appearance initially. A sloppy look might suggest a sloppy work ethic or lack of organization.
Fair or not, it happens.
Exactly. It's about showing respect for yourself and others, and it goes beyond clothes. Basic manners, like holding doors, using respectful language.
Stuff learned from family.
Yeah. Seems basic, but in the business world, it can set you apart. Shows you value service, consideration, the power of positive micro-interactions.
Makes sense. Okay, let's pivot to something really core. Cultivating happiness. A strong inner state.
Absolutely fundamental. The book says, reflect. Identify what genuinely brings you joy. Then commit to making those things a regular, non-negotiable part of your life. Design happiness into your routine.
Instead of that I'll be happy when trap.
Exactly. He challenges that conditional happiness. Choose happiness now. Practice gratitude for the simple things, your basic abilities, freedoms. Shift focus from lack to abundance.
And this idea of winning personalities.
Intriguing, right? Visualize success in a situation, then embody the traits you need. Maybe fearless D for a negotiation, empathetic D for relationship building.
And power moves.
Yeah, physical motions to anchor positive emotions and focus lets you instantly recall that desired state. It's about intentionally shaping your emotional landscape, consciously creating the mindset you need.
So you can model people you admire too. Adopt their strengths.
Definitely. Learn from the best, incorporate their strategies to overcome your own hurdles.
He did that himself, right? With the backpacking trip.
Yeah, that solo trip across Europe after college, he realized later he was modeling his parents' sense of adventure.
And his mom's advice about being the underdog.
Powerful stuff. Take pride in being the underdog, and the greater the adversity, the greater the hero. Reframing challenges as chances for heroic growth.
That resilience runs deep. He learned from her success in a male-dominated field too. Persistence, positive mindset.
Absolutely. And again, check your peer group. Set boundaries with negative influences. Your environment shapes you.
Okay, let's talk mentors. How do you learn effectively from them?
Good question. The book says, go deeper than just seeing their success. Understand their why, what drives them. Find shared motivations. Because, as he says, success without fulfillment, that's failure.
Align achievements with core values.
Exactly. He mentioned some personal development groups, masterminds as places to learn and connect. And defining success, it's not just personal gain, it's about your positive impact, your service.
Contributing meaningfully.
Which ties back to clarity of purpose. Know your why, reinforce it constantly. When your purpose is clear, motivation and energy follow naturally. It's your internal compass.
He found his calling in inspiring and serving others, right? Shaped his businesses.
Yeah, eventually. It wasn't a straight line, though. Ski bum, Olympics, modeling, diverse experiences that ultimately solidified his purpose. Even seemingly random stuff contributes.
Like that medical sales job, learning from top performers.
Exactly. Shows how different threads can weave together to lead you to your path.
Okay, wrapping things up. Fulfillment beyond just money, that was a big realization for him.
Huge, especially in his late 30s, early 40s, and really hammered home by the 2008 crisis. Understanding true wealth goes beyond the bank account.
And that's where the Fab Four come in.
Right. Physiology, self-talk, focus, and faith. These four work together to solidify your identity, keep you aligned with your goals.
And you can shift your state instantly.
That's the idea. Consciously change your posture, breathing, physiology. Manage your inner voice, self-talk. Direct your attention, focus. Draw on your beliefs, faith. Take control of your inner world.
Powerful connection between mind and body, which leads to setting and achieving goals. That ski jump story.
Great example. The mental prep scouting, visualizing success, shows the importance of setting goals that are both doable and, well, audacious. Inspiring.
And planning your week.
Reduces stress, creates clarity. He contrasts the energy drain of denial, regret, excuses with the ease of good habits. Use whiteboards, vision boards, Post-its, keep goals visible.
And reverse engineering goals.
Super practical. Break big, scary goals into small, manageable steps. Makes the impossible feel attainable, like that sales target example. Focus on the milestones. And again, work smarter 80-20 rule.
Of course, obstacles will come up.
Always embrace them as growth opportunities, not excuses to quit. Be flexible, adaptable, but it always comes back to controlling that inner self-talk.
Using physiology again, that superhero stance.
Yeah, sounds fun, but it works. Change your posture, breathing, it shifts focus, interrupts negative thoughts, and ask those focusing questions. What's great about this right now? Find the positive, even in adversity.
Use techniques like posting goals, mirror affirmations. You've got this.
Auto-suggestion too. Visualizing success, repeating I am statements. These things helped him through the 2008 crash. Positive self-talk, ongoing development were key.
And helping others boosted his resilience.
Definitely. Plus, having trusted confidants, his dad, stepfather, for honest advice. Balancing emotion and logic in decisions. And being aware of where you feel emotions physically helps manage them.
Okay, networking. Social media. He was reluctant at first.
He admits it, but realized its importance for connection, inspiration.
And that circle of influence idea again.
Crucial. Surround yourself with supportive, forward-thinking people who are ahead of you in areas you want to grow. Be selective. Maybe even trim the deadwood, limit contact with draining people.
Curate your environment, online and off. Address poor relationship skills, scarcity mindsets. Have honest conversations.
Yeah, proactive communication. healthy boundaries, and relationships are increasingly built online, so master those new fundamentals. But don't forget core rapport skills.
Words are only 7%.
Right. Tonality, 38%. Body language, 55%. Huge. Techniques like matching and mirroring help build connection quickly, and simple gestures, calls, handwritten cards, small gifts show people they're valued.
And when following leaders online,
Do your homework. Make sure they're authentic. Maybe use social media managers, leverage other people's time. But always be genuine yourself. Focus on giving, not just getting. Contribution.
which leads to constant development, lifelong learning,
Absolutely indispensable. His bankruptcy experience taught him financial loss doesn't diminish emotional worth. Invest in yourself, always be learning.
and giving back is part of that. Charity, volunteering.
Yes. Nurturing empathy, increasingly important business too. Seek inspiration everywhere. Movies, music, books, podcasts. Repeated exposure to positive content matters. Fulfillment is earned through effort, continuous growth.
Okay, persistence and resilience. Success isn't easy.
Rarely is. Savor it when it comes. He uses that sports analogy. Focus on the next play to reach the big goal. Consistency, focus on the process.
And self-definitions can help or hinder.
Mhm. Sometimes focusing on the pain of not achieving goals can be a motivator when enthusiasm fades. Sheer tenacity, exercising that courage muscle daily in small ways.
Like his mom building her business. Or that challenging family boat trip. Perseverance.
Exactly. And facing fear. Face everything and rise. Or fun, embrace, achieve resilience. Personify fear to shrink its power.
And overcoming fear and naysayers.
Embrace fear as a catalyst for growth. Resilience is flexibility and outlook reaction, like him pushing past fear to hit that high skiing speed. As for naysayers, especially online, disregard them. Focus on your path. Small, consistent improvements, the one extra attitude.
How do you motivate the unmotivated?
Ask thoughtful questions. Build rapport first.
Got it. And finally, work-life balance.
Yeah.
He struggled with this.
Big time. Prioritized work over health, personal life, led to wake-up calls. Then a conscious shift. Prioritize family, faith, health. Schedule it, stick to it.
Money is a life train. You're the engineer. Keep it all running smoothly.
Nice analogy, right? Balance is key for everyone. Work smarter, focus on high payoff stuff, delegate the rest. Schedule vacations, personal time in advance. Rejuvenation is vital.
Prioritize health. Small financial changes add up. And create your own best life habits.
Yeah, ask yourself, are my routines aligned with my values, my goals? Be honest.
And the rewards of balance and overcoming adversity.
Peace, serenity, the joy of sharing a full life, his personal rewards, loving wife, family, appreciate the present moment, use that ready, fire, recalibrate approach act, learn, adjust, delegate to free up time for top priorities.
So the key principles: passion, vision, model success, be different, manage energy, embrace failure, ask quality questions, build rapport, prioritize balance.
That's a great summary. So, wrapping up our deep dive into Only Dead Fish Go with the Flow, the core message is clear. By cultivating that resilient attitude, understanding your why, building strong relationships, prioritizing balance inspired by the author's journey through adversity, you, the listener, absolutely can proactively shape a more fulfilling, more successful life.
So here's a final thought for everyone listening. What's just one small change, one actionable step you can take in your attitude, or maybe your habits, starting today, based on what we've discussed? And maybe take a moment now and then to reflect on your own invincible summer within, that core strength you have, no matter what's happening outside. Perhaps this deep dive has sparked your own curiosity for a deeper dive into personal growth. What might that journey reveal for you?